Hi everyone, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your week 12 instructional video. So I just want to jump right into where to go and what to do. So in the content area, what I do want to remind you about is that we have a student success module that's right here. So if you click on that, there are various areas that have information that might be useful, just, options, opportunities, strategies if you're interested in those. So just make sure that you're keeping those in mind. And I do want to note that in the D2L and Tech Help area, I've added a new bit of information. That's the first link. So it's the how-to videos, because with some of our discussions, I've discovered that you may not be working with the full versions of Word, even though you have full access to that as a student. Some of you may not have the ability to download items on your devices if those belong to the school. So if you click on this, this just takes you to all videos about how to use Google Docs. So if you're new to that and want to give it a try, it's fairly straightforward. How to get started using Google Docs specifically. And as we move into thinking about our multimedia project, you'll want to know how to save Google Slides as PowerPoints, because those can be uploaded to D2L. And the same with converting a Google Doc to Microsoft Word. I get the sense that some of you are having trouble uploading your documents because you have to actually go from Google Docs and download the document to your device to then upload it in D2L. Don't get me started. I know it's a lot, but there are helpful videos here that I think are very straightforward, and they're really brief, so an easy way to approach that information. If we go to week number 12, you'll see that we have our schedule here. And this week, I really want you to think about working on finalizing that writing collection. Now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get panicked emails, but please listen. If you are currently taking notes or doing something else, listen up, folks. It is not due yet. This is just a time to get started with your revisions, make some time for tutoring with Dr. K, do whatever it is you need to do so that once that is due, you're not kind of scrambling to try to get everything done, especially when it comes to thinking about your works cited page as well as the abstract paragraphs, okay? So you're watching the weekly instructional video. And I hope that you've taken some time to watch the multimedia project video link, which is right here. I'll admit it's from a previous semester, but it still stands. It's really one of my favorite times in the semester because it's at a point when I think we all need it. We all need to, embrace our creativity, do something a little bit different. So the multimedia project really gives us an opportunity to do that. You're going to complete your multimedia project plan, and I'm underlining, bolding the plan part because sometimes students also think that the actual project is due this week. So again, if you're taking notes, if you're not watching the screen or listening, just a plan is due on Thursday. And then you have your participation quiz. All right, so if you scroll down, multimedia project video, and in this video I go over the guidelines, which are right here, as well as some examples, which I hope prove helpful because they have just been, students have had a lot of fun with it in the past, and I have a lot of fun grading them. So to see those examples I think can be really helpful. And then there's a link here to that area we just talked about that's also up here in the D2L and Tech Help module. And then to do, you have your multimedia project plan. I want you to note that the initial due date is the 16th, which is a Thursday, but I am leaving it open until our grace period that is essentially the following Tuesday. So don't get confused by what you see here, right? So make sure that you understand that there's the due date, but then if it's available until then, that means that you'll still get full credit until that is finally due. So if you click on this link to go to the assignments area, I want you to take some time to read through this because it's kind of reiterating information that's in the multimedia video instructions, but it's the elements I really want to drive home. Now, I don't want to read through all of this to you, but just take your time to make sure that you are following, those guidelines and expectations. So the video is here if you want to review it. The guidelines are here. And then I put two different options for submitting in Word format. So you can complete the form here by downloading it. So if you click on it, it will start downloading to your computer if you have the full version of Microsoft Word. If you click here, it will take you to Google Docs. And what it will do, stand by. You'll want to make a copy so that you're not filling in your information on the template. So if you make a copy of it, it will then open it for you in Google Docs so that you can complete and submit that. So the project plan is just essentially a way for you to, not surprisingly, plan out your project, right? In the past, this has been such a wonderful project, but I also, in earlier semesters of doing this, there would be some students who submitted final projects that didn't quite meet the expectations or requirements. And it's a big grade, so I don't want that to happen. So a plan is a way to make sure that you have your ideas in order, and for me to kind of give you feedback, like, is this heading in the right direction? What needs to be done? That kind of thing. So this is just a way for us to kind of, it's not a draft, but it's kind of drafting ideas. So the first thing you'll want to answer is, what text author from the course inspired your project and why? Okay, so this would be, if you want to use Ron Finley, if you want to use Amy Choi, if you want to use Jennifer 8 Lee, you would just write there, but explain why, right? I want you to think about the fact that your answers to this question and the following question will become the basis for your first paragraph. Okay, so we're kind of starting that drafting process as well. So I want you to describe your project. Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a PowerPoint? Is it going to be poetry? Why? Okay, so I want you to imagine that you have all of your colleagues, they're opening, so we're posting our multimedia projects in the discussion area. They're opening your discussion post, but they haven't seen your project yet, right? They haven't clicked the link to a YouTube video. They haven't clicked the option to download the PowerPoint. They haven't seen it, so we want to say, here is a PowerPoint, and I wanted to use PowerPoint because, and it's about this. This is where we start making those decisions. What format do you want to use? And of course, feel free to do it. This is a very open project. It just ultimately has to be something that can be uploaded to D2L in a single link to a video, no links to Google Docs or a attachment, right? How will you show effort? So a big part of this is not just seeing the final project, but seeing the effort. This is really going back to what Dr. K and I have talked about in terms of, it's about the process. It's not necessarily about the product. It's about those steps that we're taking to get to that final piece of work, whether it's writing or a project. So if you write a poem, how are you going to show your audience drafts? Or how will you show that you committed time and energy? The only project idea that I don't think requires some sort of explanation of this is going to be a video, because the video essentially is showing all of that effort, especially because those will be, edited in certain ways. And so the time is taken and the time is apparent there. But if you are creating a piece of artwork, if you're creating some sort of picture collage, the only other, in addition to a video, would be like an informational PowerPoint. So if you want to, create something that is really identifying major ideas throughout the semester, something like that, then the work is clear, right, in that PowerPoint. Or if you're creating a PowerPoint that shows you going through the steps of creating a garden in your backyard or something like that, then the pictures are showing that kind of effort, because we're seeing the visual evidence of that development. What is your general timeline? So I really want you to be specific here. What day do you plan to start it? By and large, this is something that everybody can get a very good grade on. I rarely have poor grades on this, but this is where sometimes things get kind of sketchy, because people will wait to the last minute and their project will show that, right? So we want to make sure we're planning out, being realistic, setting aside the right kind of time to do these steps in the project. So when are you going to research? When are you going to create? Do you need to actually go and buy materials? Just start really thinking through those steps. This is all part of time management, right? And though here is the last area to respond, and this is a space for your complete draft of the second paragraph. This is often in this assignment where students lose credit because there's not a complete draft. There are just a list of quotes or a general kind of guideline of ideas. I want this to be an actual draft of your paragraph. And draft means, yeah, there may be things that need to be done to this paragraph, but it is a paragraph. It does include research, right? So I want you to work on citing those authors, provide in-text citations. So this is really the start of what will be finalized as a paragraph that, you know, is kind of a large grade ultimately. When you're done with this, if you're in Google Docs, remember that you need to go to File, right? And you have to go through the process to actually save the document so that you can then upload it, right? Because you can't go to share. You know, this is not what you need to do. Usually it's going to be, you know, downloading it, and you want to download it as Microsoft Word or as PDF, and then you can upload it to D2L. Okay, so if we go back to this week's module, we're in the assignment area, so you make sure that you submit that. And then of course we're going to have our weekly quiz, which covers everything and more. So just make sure that the quiz is coming after you take a look at all these materials and ask any questions that you may have, that kind of thing. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns, but know that this is supposed to be a project that really engages you, excites you. Take a look at some of those examples, because it's just a way to have a really different kind of assignment rather than let's end the semester with a full-on research essay. We're including research in this. We're including the development of ideas and critical thinking. We're doing all of those things, but doing it in a much more approachable and I think fun way. So take care, have a good week, and let me know what you need.